Hey guys, ShadowMan here and welcome back to a new video. As I've said in my previous video, this video is going to be on zombies. And I just finished the campaign, so I'll be talking about it for a tad bit. So if you guys are liking what you're seeing here, make sure to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe and turn on notifications. Now let's start talking about the zombies. Now right off the bat, the first thing I liked about the zombies is how progression between multiplayer and Warzone is connected with zombies. It takes a long time for you to max out your guns in Cold War, and it's nice to have it connected with multiplayer in Warzone, so you don't have to level up your weapons for each game mode individually. Now before I go over what I hated, I'll go over what I thought was good. So first of all, I thought the difficulty of the bosses were actually pretty good. These bosses are pretty tough and they actually provide a challenge, especially with the dogs being stronger, faster, and deadlier with the gas they drop. Dogs back in the day were so easy to kill, but now they're actually a challenge and you actually have to be careful. Another thing I like about this game is something that should have been in every COD game, and that's the ability to pause online games. It'll be way easier to pause and have everyone go use the bathroom real quick or grab something like a charger. This should be in every game, even in games like Dark Souls. And the last thing I like about this game is exfilling. This wouldn't have really made sense in the older games, but I'm glad they added this feature in Cold War because it fits with the operators and everything. It does get a little hectic when you're trying to escape, and it's a pretty neat challenge. But that's probably the last thing I liked about the zombies. Now there are a bunch of things that people liked over the older CODs, but I just like the way how it originally was. So let's start off with the weapons. The weapon system in this game is more complex, and that's just something that I don't like. I prefer the original system where you get a weapon and it's either good or bad and there's no variation to it. If it's good, you get double tap and you pack-a-punch it and that's it. In this game, there are different tiers to each weapon, different pack-a-punch tiers, and some other factors. Again, this is just personal preference. If you like the new system, that's fine. But personally, I like it when zombies is simple and subtle with complex maps. I like having to do a bunch of things to open up the map and not to the point where it's tedious. Origins and Mob of the Dead are maps that are complex but not to the point where it's tedious, at least in my opinion. Finding the parts to Mob of the Dead requires some knowledge of the map, but it's not to the point where it's tedious. Same thing with Origins getting the staffs. And what I love about these old maps is that the game doesn't guide you to build a plane, revealing all the steps to the point where the steps are up in your face. There are character quotes and the parts list in the menu, but that's it. In Die Maschine, opening up the map and getting pack-a-punch is very up in your face and there's no subtlety to it. The game just tells you step by step on how to turn on power in pack-a-punch. This is a step down on the Immersion from Black Ops 3 and even Black Ops 4. The fun of figuring out how to turn on power or get pack-a-punch is taken away. Imagine you're playing a Soulsborne game and the game tells you how to get to each boss fight or how to get every armor or weapon or item. The game wouldn't be nearly as good if the game was very hand-holding. Another thing that ruins the immersion is the fact that there are no characters. There's Samantha and the other guy, but you play as specialists and not real characters. This just makes the game feel lifeless. Now that might sound like a good thing, because you're playing zombies, why would you want there to be life in a lifeless mode? And that's actually true for the older maps like Noct, Verrückt, or even Nuketown where the maps were bare bone. But zombies evolved to the point where that's no longer the case. Each map now has a quest to open up the map or to pack-a-punch or to get wonder weapons, specialist weapons, and to complete the Easter egg. In the older CODs you had characters with meaningful or funny quotes, but now in this game you have bland operators. Now I don't really care about the story, but at least give the map some life. Cause although I hate Black Ops 4, I still enjoyed playing Blood of the Dead, 9, and Voyage for the first time, discovering how to turn on power or pack-a-punch, or getting the wonder weapons. And on top of that, you play as characters bringing life into these maps. I realized the game was awful as I played more games, but my first time playing Black Ops 4 was way better than playing Black Ops Cold War for the first time. Now another thing that I both like and dislike is the perks. I like how the perks now have additional advantages and tiers you can unlock, but I'll talk about the level progression in a bit. But I also like the fact that they brought back the original perks and how you aren't restricted to 4 of them. But I do wish that getting the next few perks were a challenge like from the older CODs. For example, getting 100% accuracy killing the jumping jacks in Die Rise, or completing the challenge by the skulls in Zetsubo. But people may argue saying that the perks are expensive in this game, and that brings another reason as to why I dislike the zombies mode in Cold War. And that being the point system. Why change something that's perfect? From World at War to Black Ops 3, the point system has been perfect, But like the streaks for multiplayer, they decided to change it and mess it up for whatever reason. I wish they can just update the point system and just bring it back to how it originally was. Because I'm pretty sure I'm speaking for everyone when I say this, the old point system was way better. Now another thing that I don't really like or dislike is the level progression. First of all, I would say the camos you unlock itself are pretty cool, but the challenges for the camos are brutal. No, I am not going to be going for the mastery camos in multiplayer and zombies. These camos are way too grindy. Black Ops 3 zombies camos were good enough where you had to get a couple thousand kills. I didn't even unlock all the camos in Black Ops 3 and I put in like 6 days and got up until Prestige 6. And if I didn't unlock all the weapon camos in Black Ops 3, then I for sure am not going to be going for the mastery camos in this game. Even if these camos were in Black Ops 3, I still probably wouldn't have gone for them. But aside from the camos, you also got the perk tiers. Now I do like how you can get new tiers for these perks, but it would have been better if you were able to unlock these tiers in-game because it would have provided a challenge. What I feel that they could have done was make it so that you get the base perk when you buy it the first time, but if you want to upgrade to the next tier, make it so that you have to spend more points. And after you do that, you drink a new bottle. So for example, Jug normally costs 2,500, but they can make the second tier cost 5,000 and the third tier cost 7,500. And as you buy a new tier, you'd get a new perk bottle and drink it. Or they could have made some sort of challenge. For example, in order to get tier 2 Jug, you'd have to get hit X times with tier 1 Jug. Or if you want to get tier 2 Speed Cola, you'd have to reload Y times with tier 1 Speed Cola. And if you want to get tier 2 Stamina Up, you'd have to run Z miles with tier 1 Stamina Up. And keep doing that for all the perks and change up the challenges as well. So you wouldn't have to be doing the same challenges for tier 2 and tier 3. Once you complete the challenge, your operator would drink the leftover perk that's left in the bottle that they normally throw out. Now you might argue this takes away from level progression in zombies, which is kinda true. But I don't really see it as an issue, considering multiplayer zombies in Warzone have connecting progression. And not only that, but you also get weapons and specialist weapons. But what I feel that they could do is just add gobblegums. I never had an issue with gobblegums and I'm pretty sure many other zombies players loved having them. They make the game easier, but they're optional, so you don't have to select the more powerful gobblegums. You can just choose a whimsical gobblegum that doesn't affect the gameplay, just the visuals. Or choose no gobblegum at all. And from time to time, it's fun to have OP gobblegums or even average level gobblegums for a challenge. I feel like they should bring back gobblegums but just make it a little easier to unlock. That way, people would use it more often if they'd like to and not be afraid to waste any. And they should be able to obtain them the same way you obtain them from Black Ops 3 and not how it is on Black Ops 4, where all the elixirs take up your entire D-pad slot, giving up buildables and lethal slots. Now in this game, you also unlock new field upgrades as you level up. But this is a step down from Black Ops 4 because they took out specialists. And BO4 was already a step down from Black Ops 3. I'm pretty sure everyone can agree when I say the specialists from Black Ops 4 and Black Ops 3 are better than the abilities from Black Ops Cold War. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Now I'm not gonna be talking about the story either, cause honestly I don't care. I stopped caring after Black Ops 3 and I'm not gonna be doing the Easter egg in any of the Cold War maps, because I'm not a fan of the gameplay. But that doesn't mean I don't care about playing as characters though, because characters bring life into the game mode as I have said before. But something else I really don't like about this game is its HUD. Now the HUD in this game is pretty bad and I'd say it's around as bad as Black Ops 4's HUD. I believe you can take some of the things out, but it would have been best if they never added these things in the first place. Things like the minimap, the compass, the points being added similar to how they add score in multiplayer and not near the point counter, but also the health bar, the zombie enemy name, and the perks being in the middle. None of these things should have been added or changed. And what I'm trying to say here is that the HUD should have been simple, basic, and minimalistic. Cause when you're playing zombies and not multiplayer. Sure, it might be convenient to know where the last zombie is on the minimap, but I'd rather get more screen space and focus on what's going on around me instead of staring at a minimap. Same thing can be said about the compass. I don't think there's a single person that uses the compass to make callouts. Now there are some other miscellaneous things that I just don't know how I feel about. Like the first one being the streaks. They're hard to get, so I guess they're a great reward for the time and effort you had to put in to get them. Also, there aren't any buildables like the shield, which is just whatever in my opinion, but I do wish there were some new or even old creative buildables for the map that isn't strictly for the Easter egg. Something else I dislike are lethal drops. You can't buy claymores anymore, and wall buy lethals are now drops. And this is another change that's in the game for the sake of having changes. Another thing that I neither like or dislike is being able to drop weapons for teammates. It's definitely something nice to have for newer players, but at the same time I feel like it takes away the ability to just flex on your friends when you get a weapon that they've been trying to get. But that's just me, and honestly, this is more of a good thing than a bad thing. One thing I kinda don't like though is the different currency. As I have said before, I like it when the gameplay is simple, with the maps being complex. Armor is another thing that a bunch of you guys might like, but I prefer the shield. Now at the end of the day, this game is trying to attract new players, which is a good thing for Activision, but for me, this doesn't feel like zombies. It feels like a different game mode. It kinda reminds me of MW3 Survival, which a lot of people loved, which is something that I found okay, but nothing special. To me, Black Ops Cold War Zombies feels like a zombies mode made by another developer. That's how I feel about the game, but if you like it, hey, you like it. A lot of the things I don't like are just personal preference, so I hope you guys understand why I don't like this game. Now before I end off this video, I'm gonna quickly talk about the campaign. I enjoyed this campaign, and I like how it's similar to Modern Warfare's campaign, where there are more strategy type missions. It's a cool spy campaign, and I liked it over Modern Warfare's campaign. I wouldn't say Rebirth is a part of the game though, because Warzone is free, and it's kind of its own thing, so I'd say the campaign is the best part of the game. And also, when I was playing that one mission with Woods, I realized they took out the onion line. It was a pretty bad line, but I feel like they should have just kept it in the campaign because of how awful it was. But whatever. So Black Ops Cold War has a really bad multiplayer, a zombies that I personally can't get into and dislike, a decent battle royale, and a good campaign. I was gonna give this game a bad out of 10, but the campaign brought it up to a not that good out of 10. Regardless, it's an F tier Call of Duty. Borrow the game from a friend and see if you like the zombies. If you don't like it, just finish the campaign because it's only a couple of hours long, and then return it. This game is not worth it for the campaign alone for $80, but if you like the zombies, then buy the game when it goes on sale. You guys are most likely not going to enjoy the multiplayer. And also remember that Warzone is free, so if you want to try Rebirth, you can go ahead and do it right now. Now that's it for Black Ops Cold War. I'd really appreciate you guys to drop a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and share this video as it would help out the channel. And also leave a comment and let me know what you guys agreed on, what you guys disagreed on. Don't forget to check the links in the description and follow my Twitch and socials. That's all for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.